Hi, my name is Jacqueline Underwood. I am a student in the Marriage and Family Therapy program at North Central University. This is course 6102, week 3 assignment, which is a case study analysis of the movie The Soloist. Arrington Ayers is a middle-aged man who has been living on the streets for the last 30 years. From what I am to understand about the diagnosis of schizophrenia, Mr. Arrington exhibits several of the symptoms. First, I'd like to just give you an idea of what the diagnoses would be. Uh, Diagnostic criteria for schizophrenia is two or more of the following: delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, grossly disorganized or catatonic behavior, and or negative symptoms, with at least one symptom being delusions, hallucinations, or disorganized speech. Each symptom is present for a significant portion of time during a 1 month period or less if treated, known as the active phase. Arrington Ayers has never been diagnosed, therefore he has never been treated, and he is not on medication. And as I mentioned, there are symptoms and there are signs of the mental illness, and Mr. Arrington Ayers exhibited several of the symptoms over the course of the movie. Mr. Ayers isolated himself from his family and his friends. He lives out on the street. He lives with strangers, having to answer to no one, he lacks empathy. He does not care about anybody else other than himself. He has delusions when he was 10 years old, 11, 10 years old, thereabouts. He looks out the window, he sees his first delusion. There's a car, it's burning and moving very surreal through the neighborhood. His second symptom was the voices in his head, hallucinations, where he felt that he was hearing people talking. He could hear the entire world talking. So as you can see, for the most part, he has exhibited 3 of the symptoms so far, which would be delusions, hallucinations, as well as isolation from his family and his friends. Socialization skills have deteriorated. There are other symptoms that Mr. Arrington also exhibits, and those would be disjointed speech. He talks to himself. He starts a conversation with you. He may answer and respond, and then he will start talking as if he's talking to someone else. And so it becomes disjointed, and you're not really sure where he's going with the conversation at all. He also exhibits signs of irritability when there's something that he wants or something that he can't have. He begins to pace back and forth. He also shows another characteristic, another criteria, which would be anger. He's easily irritated. He can become manic. Under the DSM diagnostic criteria for schizophrenic, there are some specifiers, A, B, and C. A, B, and C. A being schizophrenic, B being catatonic, and I do believe the C would be manic, and it does appear that he is manic and he does have episodes of catatonia. So Mr. Ayers certainly does exhibit quite a few of the symptoms. I could go on. He has episodes. There was one episode where he was in the apartment by himself. He started listening to the voices in his head, the television, to the point where he couldn't take it. And I do believe that this moment is when he moved out onto the streets, and he decided that he would no longer be a part of the family structure. Next. There is a rule out. The rule out would be Mr. Arrington has never been on medication before, so therefore we can't attribute any of his symptoms to medication or pathology or anything like that. Nor can we say that it is due to hereditary. His mother died. We don't have much information about her mental state, or whether or not she suffered from mental illness at all. His father was not a part of his life, so that was an issue that was unable to be covered as well in this movie. Although his father was a musician, I don't know why he left the family, but he did. So the only other person would have been his sister, and she certainly at this time does not have any signs of schizophrenia. So therefore, we want to rule out genetics at this time. Also, we're going to rule out medication. One, because he hasn't been on medication. Two, we saw in one scene that Mr. Arrington became very erratic, very out of control, very angry, very violent when it was suggested that he go and see a practitioner so that he can get medication. And his in his delusional state, he started talking to himself and saying that if he were to go and get help, they would say that he is crazy, that they would put him in a crazy hospital, and so therefore he was unable to take that advice, and again he exhibited a very violent, very manic state at that time. Also, Mr. Arrington, as far as rule out. So there's no medication, there's no family history, no genetics that is at work here. We do not see Mr. Arrington abusing alcohol, nor do we see him abusing any type of drugs at all throughout the movie. So we can rule out those four: genetics, mental illness, medication, and drug abuse. Next. Mr. Arrington, when I think of how to treat Mr. Arrington, I have chosen to use narrative therapy. The reason why I am using narrative therapy is obviously Mr. Arrington, before I can even begin to treat Mr. Arrington, there has to be a diagnosis. So that means that we have to say I believe that it is schizophrenia. I believe that it is 298.9 with specifiers A, B, and C, and rule out. This way, if we have a diagnosis number for Mr. Arrington, then the insurance companies will not only pay the therapist, but they will pay the doctor's office as well for treating Mr. Arrington for that particular mental illness. Once Mr. Arrington has been diagnosed and he has been on medication for several weeks or however long it takes for the medication to start to allow him to become lucid, allow him to no longer be a part of the acute an active phase. He wants to be in the inactive phase so that he can transition to therapy. Once he transitioned to therapy, then of course I would do an assessment, I do a diagnostic, and then I would come up with a treatment plan for Mr. Arrington. And in that treatment plan, I would use narrative therapy. I'd use narrative therapy because I do believe that it is a self-talk therapy, a communicative therapy. It is an opportunity for Mr. Arrington to tell his story, to talk about what it is to be a schizophrenic, to live as a schizophrenic. And so he would be able to create his story, and in creating his story, he would be able to understand what it is that he's going through. So I use communications. I want to help with his communication skills. Obviously, he has been having a hard time communicating with the disjointed and erratic conversations that he's been having with himself. Also, I would like to help him understand how important it is to be on a regimen for the medication, as well as self-talk, to be able to communicate and move through each one of the stages and understand what it is that he is trying to accomplish. And those would be our goals to help Mr. Arrington at this time through narrative therapy. Finally, we would, through narrative therapy and in the treatment, phase, obviously, Mr. Arrington would be asked to talk about how he feels about the illness, what is it that he wants to change, what would he like to see happen. We do some interventions in the therapy and help Mr. Arrington in that area as well as far as treating him. The thing about treatment is that um, there is a lot of relapses for schizophrenic, and there needs to be a type of family, a systemic therapy going on as well. And that simply means that the family has to be a part of the schizophrenic's recovery process to keep the relapse down, to help them monitor the medication, to show them that they love them, to be there for positive affirmation, to come into therapy with them, to talk about the changes, to talk about how the entire family is being affected by it. So how is a family affected by a family member living with schizophrenia? Well, um, depending on when the family finds out or becomes aware of the deterioration of the schizophrenic family member, if they have been dealing with this family member for a long time and they just didn't know that he was mentally ill, at this time they would be willing to help and start to get him back on the right track. They probably have a lot of negative things that they would be saying about them because they've been through a lot with their family member. However, if they are just finding out about their family member being schizophrenic, and they've seen the deterioration of their mental health, and they are all together, all very supporting, then it could be a time of realization for the schizophrenic to realize that he is a part of a family, that he doesn't have to isolate himself, and that people care about him. What is it like for a schizophrenic? Well, schizophrenic is a fragmented mind, is really what it is. And for that schizophrenic, I mean, it could be a very depreciating time. It could be a very scary time. I do believe one author states that it's like having a devil on your shoulder, if you will, who always has something very negative to say. Negative to say, it's always talking to you, always in your head, always pointing you in the wrong direction, telling you that you're no good, telling you that nobody loves you, telling you that you're not the one. However, medication can quell that, and there has been a certain amount of success for schizophrenics. Now, there is no cure for it, and it will have to be maintained forever on medication. But if a person takes medication regularly, attends therapy, then they probably can and will live a normal and productive life. So, systemic therapy and family therapy is a big part of the recovery process as far as keeping down the number of relapses and the schizophrenic client continuing to live a whole and productive life. So that's going to be important to him. The other point about therapy is that what happens when Mr. Arrington comes in and he is on his medication, and now he has to start to put his life together, and he needs some referral information for doctor's office, for insurance, and stay at home, or food, money, a job. Well, I would prepare a needs assessment for Mr. Arrington so that I could give him a roadmap and show him how to use it and help him make phone calls. One of the big things is that obviously he's going to have some type of insurance in order to continue to be seen. If he can't get insurance, then obviously he's going to have to go to a clinic that does not it's a type of state ran insurance program based on your income. So he would never be turned away from therapy. Once he entered into therapy, there would be places that he could go. There would be doctors, there would be clinics where he could be seen, and the medication would also be up on a state ran program. And again, this would fall up under a needs assessment program for Mr. Arrington, and helping him to finally uh, re reestablish himself in society. And once again, as we continue to talk about how to treat schizophrenia, we treat it with no definite time limit in in mind. We continue to treat the schizophrenic until they are better, they are recovered from the psychotic episodes, that they are no longer experiencing monthly acute, active and acute phases, that they are now aware of their mental illness and they are ready to take responsibility for their mental illness. My name is Jacqueline Underwood, and I am finished with my case analysis again, and that has been for the movie The Soloist, who is Mr. Arrington, a 50-year-old man who has gone undiagnosed with schizophrenia for the last 30 years, and my diagnosis is schizophrenia spectrum disorder with specifiers A, B, and C, and with a rule out of medication, drug abuse, as well as alcohol and family genetics.